You are now listening to the Bluprint Pod. Get ready for another exciting episode, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bluprint Pod. I'm your host, Ray Roots, and today I'm joined by my co-host and co-founder of the brand, Muhammad Imam. How are you, bro?
I'm all good, all good. Good to be here. I mean, we're in the flow of things now, episode 3. So I'm looking forward to speaking to the guest we got today.
Yeah, so by the way, I forgot. Is MI Visuals.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting your socials.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do a little introduction because I haven't met or spoken to Phil before, so yeah.
Yeah, so today we have a special guest as well. It's one of my friends who I've known for... How long have I known you, Phil? Like 4 years now? 5 years?
It's been a long time. I feel like we known each other longer than you say, but hey, I trust what you say.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Calvert, aka Philwaukee. So a round of applause for Phil.
Give it to me. Yay. All right.
Hey man, how you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm corona free, so I'm good.
That's a blessing,
Good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, so I wanted to get you on the podcast because you have kind of an interesting career, and you have a pretty interesting career history as well. Because you started out doing something that most people dream about, and now you're still doing something that most people only just really dream about. But before we get into that, I kind of want to talk about how you and I met, because we don't have the same story of how we met.
Man, it's confusing, man. I feel like I know you when you were a little younger. Like I feel like I was coaching you or something, but I guess not.
Yeah, I definitely did not know you when I was little, and you definitely not coaching me. That was.
I feel like I was in the same basketball club as you. I don't know why. Maybe.
We probably saw each other a lot. I think I got to know you through one of our mutual friends, Kevin. Or he's more like your friend than mine. But that's funny how I remember I just walked up to Phil like I knew him, and I was like, "Hey, you want to help me with some video stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And
it's that energy, man. That's why.
That's the energy, right? I think 4 years ago we did our first video together.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty bad, but regardless, that was Phil. Do you remember what it was about?
Yeah, you think it was bad? It wasn't bad. We did a scene where we was eating, and then and then we did a scene in a store. That's all I remember.
Yeah, so we did 2 videos together, and the first one was sitting in a restaurant, and then the bill comes, and the waiter is like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then I'm like, "Yo, I'll get it," but I'm just saying it so he can say, "No, I got it."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm saying like, "Hey, I got it," and he said, okay," and I was just kind of trying to get out of that and make up a bunch of excuses. And I mean, the concept was funny. I just thought the execution was meh, but I mean, it was my first skit, so
yeah, it was 4 years ago. You know how everybody's skits are horrible when they first start to them, and then you just had to give it time, man. You just had to give it time.
I mean, hopefully I've improved, and maybe in the future we can do a revisit of one of those videos and actually make it good.
I think they were good. I'm on a record saying I think they were good, but it's all
you're on the record saying it's good. All right, I appreciate that, man, because that means a lot. I really thought they were pretty bad, but I guess I was the only one.
No, they were trash. I'm joking. Yeah, they weren't that bad.
They were trash. We are our biggest critics.
Yes, that's true. Because if we're not, we're gonna be. What's the word?
I don't know. I don't know English.
Complacent. Like we're just gonna accept.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna improve or whatever. But all right, Phil, I want to get to your profession because you have your story. Like you're from Philwaukee. Oh, I'm sorry, you're from Milwaukee.
Hey,
not Philwaukee.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know the brand sticks.
Yeah, the brand
I know.
sticks for You're from Milwaukee. How did you find your way to Copenhagen, Denmark?
Through basketball. I was playing basketball in California at the university, and then it was a guy who played here, and he was like, and I was like, man, I want to play overseas. He was like, I played overseas, I can help you. And then he helped me get over here, and I've been here ever since, it seems like.
So when did you come here?
I first came in 07, 06, at the end of 06 and then 07. Then I left, and then I came back in 2010, and I've been here ever since.
Was that fresh out of college?
Fresh out of college, baby. I was fresh. Never been to another country in Europe before ever. I was fresh out of college. So just imagine coming from Milwaukee to California to Denmark, and it just was like, what in the heck? Europe was weird.
So how old were you when you came here? Fresh out of college. What's that, like early 20s?
Yeah, 23.
What was that experience like, just going to a different place for the first time with no one you knew around?
It was weird. It was weird because everything just seemed different. I wasn't even living in Copenhagen. I was living in like the suburb of Copenhagen. And they were like, yeah, we're going to give you a bike. And I'm thinking like, bro, I don't know how to ride a motorcycle. Like, I'm thinking motorcycle, you're going to give me a bike? And they kept talking about their bike. Like they got transportation for me, a bike. And I was thinking like, oh, okay, well, maybe they mean like a scooter because this is Europe. And I always used to associate scooters in Europe, like people driving around. And so then all of a sudden they gave me like this bike, and I thought it was a joke. I was like, they funny, right? It was the truth, man. Everybody was on bikes. I was like, man. I was coming from the club, and I see people on bikes. I was like, bro, she rode a bike to the club. But not knowing that was like normal, you know?
Yeah, so that's really Denmark and like in Northern Europe in general. Like they really love their bikes.
They're just putting some bike lanes down in London now, like this year since coronavirus started. I've just been noticing all the roads. Yeah, literally all the roads just getting blocked up, and now there's bike lanes popping up out of nowhere.
Do you have CEOs of like major corporations who ride bikes to work?
I think the bike thing is amazing, actually.
You like it? So you adjusted pretty quick, I can tell, huh?
Man, I'll be riding my bike everywhere. Like, I'm going to take my bike.
So what do you do when you go back home?
You know, one summer I tried to pull the whole bike thing off till I got ran off the road a few times, cussed out a few times. Bike got stolen one time. I was like, man, F that bike, man.
So you come to Denmark in 06, 07, and then you leave, and then you come back. You play professional basketball, right?
Yeah. I played professional basketball here. That's what brought me here, and it was just a different vibe. Like basketball is different. You know, my teammates is different. It was just a huge adjustment, but I managed. From Milwaukee, we managed. Is
it true that like have you seen like you both guys can comment on this? You've seen the jokes about like how Michael Jordan used to play with plumbers, and they's like, yo, they play basketball at night, but in the morning they get a day job. Was that like real in Denmark? Would your teammates have like real 9-to-5s after playing?
Yes,
back with that, man.
Exactly. They literally was like, yeah, exactly. Had a work truck, and then after practice, jump in a work truck.
Wow.
But that's
so did you have a 9-to-5?
That's how it is.
Did you have a 9-to-5 as well, or did you?
No. I did not have a 9-to-5. I used to my stuff was strictly basketball. But as the years went on, I started to get one, like to try to like double up on the money, because you can easily have a 9-to-5 and easily play. So
right, okay,
yeah, I adapted.
Can I just ask, like, when you first joined, like, what was it like the dynamics between like you and your team, and like were you like a minority there as well, or was it like everyone white, or a few black people as well? Or?
Nah, everybody. I was the only black person, and everybody knew I was American. Like, are you American? But yes, because I was in a small city, Verlu, so it was all good. Like, hella white dudes, just me. It was cool. Like, I was the American, and so I had that. It was that dynamic of everything, and it was cool. I mean, I was used to being away from home, playing at another place. I had just came from Milwaukee to play at San Jose. We kind of got the star treatment, I guess you want to say. But it's really not the star treatment here because basketball is not popular at all. So it was like a star treatment within like that city, because the paper would say, "Oh, it's a new American in town," whatever. So. But it wasn't even star treatment. It was just like people staring.
So I have a question about, because I remember like a few years ago we talked about how like Milwaukee is one of the maybe more segregated cities in America.
Right.
So going from I don't know which parts of Milwaukee you grew up in, but were you in the parts that represented your race, so the black areas?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was so I even went to like a school where the government had this thing called the 220 program, where they took inner city kids and tried to segregate the city and take them and put them in schools that was in the suburbs. So it was a lot of efforts trying to stop all of that, because that's bad for business if you have a huge city that's pretty dope, but it's just super segregated, and people notice that. That's like one of the first things people notice. Like, hey, is this an all white city, or hey, is it all black? Because you go to one side of town and it's just segregation, and it sucks. But it's getting better, but it sucks.
So what's that like going from that experience to being in an all white country almost?
Yeah, so I had to be. It was like shell shock. So I would like live in Denmark for the 8 months with basketball season. Then I'd go home and it'd just be an all black Walmart and like all black grocery stores. And I'm like, what the like? I mean, obviously I got used to it, but it was just weird to see like everybody was black, and I'm just like, what in the world? And then and it made me notice how messed up things were back home in the States. That's one of the things. Mm-hmm. So I was walking around shell shocked, smiling, saying what's up to all the black people. Like, hey. My sister's like, you can't talk to everybody. I was like, I ain't seen black people in so long. Look at everybody.
It's funny because like my first ever holiday was to Turkey. I was born in Kenya, but I grew up in London. And then like when I was in Turkey, I was literally counting like all the other black people. I was literally like counting them like every time I saw one, like, give them a little nod.
Of course, that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's hilarious because Phil, you have a thing you do when you travel and you meet another a black person. You acknowledge them in a certain way. Can you talk about that? That's pretty funny every time I see it on your social media.
Yeah, so I got this thing. It's my rule, my number one rule when traveling. Always acknowledge a black person when you see them, because from when my traveling, the places I travel, there don't be a lot of black people traveling. So when you see another black person, you like double take, like, hey, there go a black person. And so I always acknowledge them, give them the head nod or the fist bump or whatever the case may be, because I know they probably feel it's uncomfortable. When you're the only black person, it feels uncomfortable. So I just give them a little extra, I see you right there, brother. And people always smile and they take it with a smile. And I think it's important. Acknowledgement is important. So
I now that we're on the topic of traveling and race, I remember you talked about a green book.
Yeah.
So what's a green book, and what's that got to do with traveling?
Oh, so check this out. So back in the day, obviously segregation ruled the United States. It's built on segregation. That's why we're so messed up right now, because of racist laws and racism, whatever. And so there was this book. It was called The Negro Motorist Guide. And what it did was this black guy in New York City, his name was Victor Hugo Green. He made this book for places black people can go and get treated fairly. And that served black people. And so in the middle of the 30s, in the 40s, and the 50s and 60s, there was like this boom with car sales and stuff. So everybody was getting cars and they were just expanding and traveling around. Americans were traveling around America. They were taking their cars and traveling, and black people was doing the same. But black people couldn't go to certain cities, like no blacks here, no blacks here. There was towns called sundown towns. When the sun come down, do not go to that town because they don't serve black people, or you can get killed. They'll make an example. So they made this book called The Green Book, and everybody had it. And they were like, so whenever you go on a travel, you make sure you had your green book. So you go and you support businesses that supported black people or people of color. So yeah. And now it's a new book out, a green book that's out right now. If you go look on Amazon, it's called The Green Book. Go check it out. And I'm on the cover like, yeah.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, it's facts. I even got a gift. If you type on Instagram, Twitter, Black Traveler or ABC Green Book,
yeah,
you'll see me with my fist in the air, like boom, it's me, a gift, baby. I'm telling the truth.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. That's you in the Austrian.
Yeah, that's me with my
mountain outfit.
Yeah, my leader who's.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to, unless Imam, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna comment on that as well. Like, it's interesting as well because I'm a Muslim, and I'm black as well, and like I've always been thinking about like when I travel, I always ask people like, what's the experience like for like black people? What's the experience like for Muslim people? Like, also like halal food as well, but I also want to be treated right as well. So I'm like, I kind of like drawing up a green book of my own in my head. So it's interesting that you say that. So I might have to go and buy one, man.
but I'm sure everybody does that though. Like, I mean, it's a necessary when traveling. And I don't eat pork either. I remember when I was in China, and they were like halal places, and you ask the question like halal, and they're like people who know what it is, they'll point to it and be like, yeah, it's over here, and then it was like it's another one over here. You can go down here. So I was like, dang. But it's some cities that's straight halal in China that I love. Like it's some Muslim cities in China, and it's super halal, and the food is delicious, and I have no worry. I just eat everything.
So. Yeah, because I remember talking to you about that after you got back from China. Like there was like you had some trouble finding some food, right?
Yeah, man, it's bad. Like you gotta, they eat some different things. You gotta be careful.
That's like a culture shock thing or cultural difference thing that we're going to talk about later in the segment. But I kind of want to transition into your current profession, because if someone asks me what does Phil do right now, I have a hard time saying one thing.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your profession?
So I think my profession is, and I always say this, I always be like, because past 2 years I've worked with the NBA. So I coach, I train coaches, and I train players with the NBA. So that's what I was doing up until the pandemic terminated our jobs. But it was traveling and coaching, right? But I also do a side hustle, and that's travel for different companies. So let's say a tourism board wants people to see what they have going on in freaking Kansas City. So they'll invite me there, and I just show it on my social media. So I guess it's a travel influencer. So I'm a coach and a travel influencer.
All right. So your employer, or until the pandemic hit, your employer was the NBA, and then various travel companies.
Yep. So the NBA would we would travel to different cities, and then we'll look for talent. So we'll look for good talent to send to the NBA schools. They have like schools in certain countries. And so we'll look for those talented players or people who have potential to have talent. And then they're just building them. The NBA is working on their games. They they send them to school. They give them the facilities. They get trained by like NBA coaches and stuff like that, trying to promote basketball and trying to get those young players in their country to the NBA, because it's worldwide, baby. It's worldwide.
So it's mainly kids that you're working with, right?
Yeah. Definitely kids, 18 and under.
So how did you come about this opportunity? How did this because it's a pretty unusual job to work with the NBA for the average person, but I guess you're not the average person. So how did that come about?
Social media. I went to India to go check out India, and I was on India. And whenever I go back to a country, I try to do a little something for. If I feel like I'm exploiting the culture, I try to do like something free that I think like my services. So me playing professional basketball and me coaching for over 15 years, I reached out to like a youth coach and was like, hey, listen, here's my resume. I want to do a free clinic for you guys. She was like, of course. So she had like some kids she coached who were like 10 and under or something like that. So I did like a couple free clinics for 3 days, and then at the end I do this thing called shot of the day, and it's when I do like a backward shot. So I did the backward shot, and I put that on social media, and a girl who worked for the NBA was following me, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna tell this guy about you who is in the NBA, and they have a basketball school there, and they're looking for talent. And they're looking for talent, but she like broke it down to me, and I was like, okay, cool. So she told him about me. Then the lady who I did the coaching for a couple of days later called the same guy and was like, hey, there's this guy. He was in India. He did this thing with the kids. He was amazing, blah, blah, blah. I think she said he was amazing. So then the guy calls me and was like, hey, listen, I've gotten 2 calls from 2 different people talking about that you coach kids. Can you send me your resume? I think I might have a job for you. Sent him the resume. He called me back and he was like, yeah, let's you want to work for the NBA. And the rest is history.
So would you say that, so you're traveling, you're doing your other job, which is traveling for traveling companies, and then you just decided to do something for the local area that's kind of been hosting you for the past couple of
Yeah,
well, sometimes
like
for you it's like months, right? So you like they've been hosting you for like months.
I mean, not really months. Like I don't think I've ever, unless it was working with the NBA, been to a country for months. But like for example, so let's say I was in India and I feel like I was exploiting their culture. Like I was getting, I was getting money and like praises and likes and all this stuff for just showing Indian culture, and I ain't did nothing for the culture, right? So I'm like, you
Right.
know what? What can I offer? Because I don't got money like that. I don't know what to do. So all I know is basketball. Let me reach out to a local basketball, and I did it. And then I think I did the same thing in Africa. I was getting likes. I didn't get no money, but I was getting like likes and people sharing my pictures. And I was like, man, let me reach out to like an orphanage. And I did like a basketball camp there. And then like, you know, when I go home, I do little small basketball camps there. I think I did a basketball camp in the Philippines, like just little small stuff, not basketball camps, but like do small stuff I can offer when I exploit cultures. And that's basically it.
Okay.
Can I just ask?
And I got a job from it. So.
Yeah, before you continue on, can I just ask, like, when you say the word exploit, what do you mean by that? Because I don't feel like you go to exploit the country itself or the culture. But what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I don't really be like, because I just be putting them on my story. Like I'm a real like in your face type of social media guy. So if I come to somebody and we're like laughing and talking and people see that interaction and it's genuine, it's super genuine, and I put it on my story. And then after I look at it, I'm like, man, maybe I should have asked them or told them that it was going to be in front of a couple thousand people. Like they were going to see this. And I feel bad about it, but it's all with a good heart doing it. And I'm not doing nothing. I feel like I'm not doing anything bad. So I feel like maybe that's like, I'm getting a lot of people praise and likes and stuff like that from other people's lifestyle. So I feel like I need to give back.
I mean, it doesn't sound like exploitation to me. It sounds like you're just on a vacation and you just document more than what maybe the average person does. But I think that's cool that you're still finding a way to give back in some way, and that has led to different opportunities for you, which is really interesting. But how did you even get to India and get paid for it before you even started to get in touch with the NBA?
Oh no, I didn't get paid for the end. Oh yes, I did. I did do so. I went just for a vacation because I ain't never been to India, right? But then, you know, so there's a hustle behind it. You reach out to certain companies and be like, hey, I'll be in India during this. And then they be like, oh, okay, yeah, can you promote this? We'll give you $1,000 or we'll give you $500. You promote this, or you take a picture in front of here and tag this. So little stuff like that. You'd be like, oh, okay. So that's how I got there and did it. But the basketball thing was just all like me wanting to do something for them.
Would you say that anybody can reach out to a traveling company? Do you have to have some sort of foundation, like a little following on social media, or like can the average person on the street go to a traveling company or for that matter any company and say, hey, I'm going here, is there any way that we can work together?
I think the average person can, but your mouthpiece got to be cold. But you got to offer them something. Like companies, they want something for something. You know, you can't just be like, hey, I'm going to your country and I want to show people your country. They're gonna be like, all right, cool. And I want you to pay me. They're gonna be like, no, what for? You know what I'm saying? You got to offer some people something. Like I only had like 3,000 followers when I first got my first, not even 3,000. I think I had like 2,000 followers when I first got my first paid gig. But the thing that I was offering them was entertainment. Like I was in front of their social media producing entertaining content, and that's why they was able to give me free travels and money in my pocket, because I was offering that even though I only had like 2,000 followers. So like you gotta come with a game plan. And I didn't even know that was possible until like people put me on game and told me.
And now you've got to the point where your own social media can like benefit the companies you work with as well when you like kind of talk about them when you're talking about it. So it's kind of like evolved into its own. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and I need to learn how to exploit that a little more. So you're gonna talk about exploiting. I need to learn how to use that a little bit more because I don't do it as I should.
I think the right word is leverage, right? Leverage.
Yeah.
You want to leverage
it's all exploitation, man. It's capitalism.
such a negative word, exploitation,
I
because
know.
it assumes that someone is being taken advantage of.
Oh, I am definitely. These companies be taking advantage of you. Actually, you want to tell the truth. Nah.
Have you had any bad experiences with companies?
I think
you don't have to name them, but is there anything on the top of your mind?
I've had companies talk to people who were working on campaigns and be like, "Why is he putting his fist in the air? What's that all about?" And stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the fist for those who don't know?
It's for like solidarity. It's for like unity, right? It was done a long ass time ago, and that's what it's for, right? And then like Black culture took it as like the symbol for Black power, you know, and
Right.
yeah, and so that's what they did it for, right? Because it means unity, solidarity, right? And so I happened to go to the same college that these two guys in Mexico in the 1968 Olympics. There's this iconic shot of two Black African Americans when they win the gold and the silver medal. Instead of receiving the gold while the national anthem going on, they put their fists in the air with a black glove and they put it in the air. And it's just an iconic shot that they're doing that.
I've seen that
in the midst of the civil rights movement during the United States. It was like their protest against America, even though they won the gold for America. We win this gold. We are on top of the world, yet we're still slaves in our own home. So they put the fist up in the air, right? And I went to their college. Yeah, they was like athletes at my college. They came and they talked to us. They told us about it. They used to tell us stories. So I felt connected to them. And so the first time I ever went overseas, I'm like overseas, just chilling. And I'm just, I don't know what to do. Like they like pose and I just put my fist in the air like, yeah. Like I felt accomplished, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I always put my fist in the air. And I have like this saying about it, like, of course it means Black power, but it also means solidarity, strength from all cultures and all people, right? And that's why I do it. And I think, you know, with the whole BLM movement, some companies were turned off and they asked like certain other people, like, why does he do that all the time? And they were telling him like, because he loves where he's from and he loves who he is. And she had to say that for them to get the whole negative aspect from it, take it away, and then give me an opportunity, or didn't give me an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So
I remember talking to you about this. I think like 2 years ago, maybe even that.
Yeah.
But like you didn't never stop doing it because I see it all the time on your social media. So
yeah.
So how do you go about like balancing your principles, but also making sure that you have food on the table?
So yeah, I don't want to work with a company that don't want to. If you can't see what Black Lives Matter mean, or not even only Black Lives Matter, because I was doing it before Black Lives Matter. If you can't see if somebody's very proud of their culture, if you don't understand that, then why I want to work with your company? I don't want to work with your company. I don't want to show your company to my followers. I don't want them to buy your stuff. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So I just keep doing it, and I feel like it's all about energy. I feel like people know what it means, and the companies that want to work with me will work with me, and I don't see it ain't been a problem yet, you know.
Right.
And I have been on shoots where they be like, yeah, because they give us free will to take pictures, but they was like, can you make sure that you don't and they'll explain like nothing wrong with it, but we don't want a picture with that. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any follow-ups, Mohammed?
No, I'm good.
And then sometimes you got to be careful what you do on social media, because I remember one time I was in a rainforest, and it was like girls from like a rainforest who were they don't know what I was saying, and I said something like, "Can I try to get their number?" And then they were like, and the man was like, "I don't think they have a phone," and like it was like a joke. Yeah. And it was a joke. And the company was like, "Hey, we're real big on feminism. We just need to know more about what this phrase was about, because if this has anything that could ruin our look or whatever, we don't want to be involved." So I had to break it down to him and tell him like, "Oh no, I didn't mean any disrespect. Don't take it out of context. Look it before. I'm asking questions before, and then watch the end, because it's all respectful." And so it's about explaining, because cultures, things are different. You got to explain something to people, especially companies. They're culturally clueless, so you got to break that down for them. Yeah.
But I guess you're like the human face of those companies, and they're kind of learning from you as well. So there's a lot of like evolution around the whole process, man. So it's a really cool, interesting, like kind of role that you picked up.
Yeah, thank you, brother. You used to play sports too?
Ray didn't really introduce me today, but so yeah.
Sorry, it's a bad habit. I'm still learning my intro.
I was never a professional, but yeah, I was a regular football or soccer for you guys. Regular football, like really into my football, up until like college as well. And then I had a ACL injury, and then since then I've kind of been off it. But I'm still an avid sports fan. But yeah, I've been doing like graphic design for a few years, but I also like I met her in social media, and then I'm gonna have to beep out a whole bunch of things. But yeah, and then I've been doing a podcast with a few friends of mine to try kind of like inspire young people from the same environment as me to read. So like we're reading a book every week, and then we were making a podcast about it for like a whole year, and then we were trying to encourage as many people as we could to do that. And that's like kind of how I got led into, we've founded this, so we're trying to inspire people in other ways now.
That's dope.
So, yeah.
What book y'all reading this week?
I mean, I ain't done it in a minute, but right now I'm reading we actually do like book recommendations at the end, but right now I'm just reading a book about graphic design, because I'm trying to like just perfect my skills and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you did like how many consecutive weeks did you release?
We did like a whole year of books. So there was even 1 week where we did 3 books in 1 week, and we were like, because it was like a whole series, and like we just finished it. Like it was crazy. Like some people will say like, why do you like push it and force it? But honestly, I think like having them deadlines on ourselves and like pushing it to the extreme like helped us like really develop faster, and like pushed us to produce more content. And yeah, it was a crazy time, but I kind of like I want to go back to it, so I'm thinking of going back to it and doing a book a week as well. So I really recommend that anyway.
Yeah, maybe if I got time, reading books.
What do you do when you're traveling? In the actual process of traveling,
man, like, podcast.
Yeah, because
podcast or like finishing, because it's important. I feel like if you are an Instagram influencer, I feel like you have to follow up with people, because then they feel engaged to like your stuff and promote your stuff and even buy your stuff. So I feel like you got to write people back, and it takes a while for me to write back.
Especially with your growing fan base.
Yeah. Or I sleep. Or I be sleep. I'm trying to sleep on the plane.
Man, I cannot sleep on a load. If it's not my bed, then I can't sleep.
Yeah, same with me. I can't sleep in airplanes and hotels. I mean, I can sleep in hotels, but like I can't. I have to lie down in a comfortable bed. I'm like a snob.
I need my bed.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a bit of a snob.
I mean, if you travel regularly, I guess then that's like you have to. Right, you're gonna be like a zombie. Like every time you're trying to be bubbly, but deep down you're like, damn, I could have used 30 minutes here.
Right. Phil, I have a question for you. You're traveling a lot, whether that's for traveling companies or that's for the NBA. Mm-hmm. And I think the last time you went away was China, right?
Nope. The last place I was at was India, because I left. I came to Denmark from the pandemic in India. The NBA told us we have to get out of India because we don't know what's going to happen when the world locks down, and we're locking down something.
Is your employment permanently terminated?
Yeah, man. So this is the thing. My job involved traveling and being around hella people. So like it is done until we figure something out. Until they figure something out. They felt bad about it, but there's no way around it. You can't do virtual basketball. You can, but not at the extent we were doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many things to talk about and just that area as well that you just mentioned. But first thing I really want to ask about is like the psychology of traveling and being away that long from people that you care about or that you have a relationship with. How does that, like, because you must have a lot of alone time.
Yeah, I do. But I use that alone time to try to talk to my family. Like sometimes the time differences be like a gift because when I'm winding down, I can talk to my grandmother. When I'm winding down, she's just now like watching her soap operas or whatever the case may be. Like she's relaxing. Yeah. So that's good because if we both wind down at the same time, that long day, then I would never be able to talk to my mom and stuff like that. My mom and my dad and my family. So it's always good to be like, those time difference was like, thank God for it. You know what I mean? So, and the way, social media is, I might be far away and I can't touch you physically, but I know everything was going on. At any moment, my mom could get a hold of me. Back in the day, allegedly, you had to write a letter and wait for him to write back.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, because, I don't know. I don't know why I said allegedly.
So if me and Muhammad Imam, I don't know why I keep saying your full name. I'm just
but I like
it, man.
That's dope. I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to mess with her.
All right, well, I'll say your full name then, because it's like an artist name, right?
Muhammad Imam. On a one and two.
You don't just say J, you say Jay-Z, right? So I'm going to use your full name.
Is that his surname?
Yeah, Z is his last name. So if me and if Muhammad Imam and we do something, we can, if we're not feeling motivated, we can find whatever excuse to not do it. But if you're that far away from people and your whole life is kind of centered around that job, how do you find motivation to do that job on the days where you feel down?
Is it which one, the basketball or the social media?
Both. Let's do both.
So the basketball is so humbling, bro. Like you don't get it. Like they've never seen. I go to places where they've never actually met a black person before, or like a black person of my stature. Like I'm not bragging or anything, but I'm a big dude, right? So I come, I bring this good energy. There's a certain stereotype that goes into who black men are. So when I enter the room, they see who I am. You can see them, their eyes light up, right? Their eyes light up. So I got to bring that energy because I know this is the first time that they'll be meeting a black person, and they probably had their stereotypes. And I'm representing the NBA, something I love dearly. So I have to be on, and it doesn't take much because of the whole what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm promoting basketball. I'm promoting a black man, a male. You know what I'm saying? I'm promoting America now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't need a switch to turn it on. Or I could just turn it on and off because it's there. Like it motivates itself. And these are the first time, and this is what gets me. This is the first time they ever, in India, this is the first time they ever touched the basketball. So like kids have never touched the basketball, and then you see the joy, how they feel when they playing basketball and having fun. I'm like, bro, this is priceless, man. I be going home thanking God, like, thank you for letting me have this job. Like I've seen the looks of a kid's face of improvement. Like they can't dribble the ball consecutively, then they do it and they smile and look at you. I think it's so dope. So I don't really need no motivation because that moves me right there. I can have the worst day in the world, but if I go to work, I might be sleepy in the car right there, bumpy roads, almost running into cows and stuff. But as soon as you see the kids' faces, man, it all changes.
So what about for like social media and travel companies? There must be like one day where you're like, I really don't want to do anything today.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, that money, you got to do it for the money. Yeah, of course. It's always days like that. Like I got to psych myself up like, okay, this is only 30 seconds. Like I always be doing that. But like, all right, here we go. Let's be extra for 30 seconds. And I'll be like, yo, they're going to see this only for like 15 seconds. Here we go. What's up? Today's a good day to have a good day. And then, just flow from there.
Right.
Because it can get tiresome. You be lonely.
So do you have you what?
I said, you be lonely in the bed in a great hotel all by yourself, brother. You be, dang.
How does that affect someone's mental health?
Oh, man. It depends on your situation. If you don't got a girlfriend, I don't know how it will affect you because, you don't know what it's like. But, But, luckily, I've been blessed enough to be in, like, big cities. Like, if I'm by myself in freaking Croatia, I just go outside and you see people. And it's not that bad. Like, being, like, I was in Inner Mongolia, and I always try to get 10,000 steps. So I'm in Inner Mongolia, and I'm laying in this old, cold hotel room, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. This is killing me, bro. So I go outside in Inner Mongolia, and I'm walking by myself. And then it just turns into like you appreciate these moments. Well, for me, it just turns to I appreciate these moments that I'm able to just get up, go, and walk, even though it's nothing. You're bored, and I get up, go, and walk, and I'm just, I don't know, I flip it. I use my tools of positivity to flip that with the mental health stuff. I feel my feels, but I gotta flip it, yo.
Right. So is there so you come from the basketball world, and there's usually a lot of competitiveness there, and like being better than your competition. So how is that transition into your post basketball career, or post playing career, but also your traveling career?
So I'm a very competitive person, man. And I remember I came and brought the same spirit to the travel world. And this girl who was like a pro at travel, and she told me, hey, listen, this ain't basketball. We all in this together. Chill out. Like, she told me to chill out. And I needed to hear that, because I used to be super competitive, and I used to be like, oh, he got a trip from the Barbados. I need to get on my stuff. Like, oh, you see this dude out here? Oh man, I'm better than him. Come on, look at how you do that. You know, I was being real critical. And she's like, hey, listen. This ain't basketball. You need to chill out. This is travel. There's a lot of space for everybody. Everybody travels. Everybody travels. And so I was like, oh, you're right. And she told me that early. And I don't really try to trip. Obviously, I'm competitive, like, all right. But I know that I always think of our words and be like, this ain't basketball. It's enough space for everybody.
Right. Yeah, in basketball, there's space for 5 people on the court.
Exactly.
And 15 on the team. So I guess that's different. The world is bigger than a basketball court anyway. So there's
and everybody travels, and traveling, you can constant scheme. And ain't nobody better than me either. You hear the competitive right now. Ain't nobody promote your brand like me, brother.
There we go. Especially
if it's a travel brand.
That's right. I kind of want to talk to you, because we have a little bit of time left. I want to talk to you about your social media, because we've touched upon it a little bit during this episode. But your social media kind of blew up.
It did. I got featured on the Shade Room, baby.
Is that when it blew up?
Yeah, it blew up that, and then I got featured on this one. Like, a lot of people started sharing this one video of me and my ex-girlfriend. I like surprised her, and so that shared. So people were sharing that, and then in the caption it had, even though he's single now, when he was in a relationship. And so I think that's what blew me up a little bit.
That's funny. So do you remember where you were when that happened, or how you felt when your social media started exploding?
So it's all strategic now. Now if this ever happened again, I know what I'm doing. So what happened was, I was asleep, and people had wrote me like, yo, you on the Shade Room. Yo, you on the Shade Room. And the only reason I was on the Shade Room is because I had a show. I had a show on the Matador Network, and the Shade Room promoted it. Like, yo, he's a black traveler. Boom. They promoted it, and I was like, what? Okay, that's dope. And so I started blowing up, and I remember I just turned my phone off. I didn't even look at it for 2 days. I didn't look at my phone because it was too much. It was like people was hitting me up, and then my Instagram was going off, and I was getting hella followers. So I just turned my phone off, and that was the dumbest thing I've ever could have done. You know what I mean? I feel like I could have capitalized so much on that. And I always think about that moment, like, dang, because you got people who look and they come to your page, they look at your page and they leave. And I didn't do a story or nothing. And if I was thinking at the time, now I know if I ever blow up again like that, bro, I'm putting the best story. I'm putting the biggest thirst trap with my picture, with my shirt off, everything, man. I need you to stay on that page. I need you to follow. Because I had I think 90,000 people go just look at my page. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell that from the analytics. And I didn't capitalize. I didn't even do a story. I didn't do nothing. So you got to just capitalize from that.
Right. So has it changed anything for your career? Other than getting more followers?
Yeah. I mean, you got more eyeballs on you. You got more people supporting you. You got more engagement. And that's how I'm able to get this stuff, because if you look at somebody who got 100,000 followers and a blue check mark, and my engagement compared to theirs, even though they got 50,000 more followers or whatever, we have pretty much the same engagement. And so I feel like that's important. Companies look at that a lot. And
so you leverage your social media?
Yeah, I try my best. Yeah. So like now I just don't, I'll post a story to post a story, but now like if I have something to say, I strategically do it. Like I'm like, all right, if I have a story, I gotta literally tell a whole story, because the more you post, the more people look at your stuff. And so whenever I post on my story, I try to post like 8 things after, you know what I mean? Like if I got to work for a company, I try to be like, all right, so I'm posting for the next 8 hours. Every hour I'm posting something.
Right.
Yeah. That's how.
You know what? Maybe we got to get you on another episode in the future where you can talk about social media strategy, because it seems like you kind of know what you're doing.
Man, hey, look, it took a while.
You thought about doing like social media coaching kind of thing, getting people to pay you for that, or you already done that?
No, I never did that because I don't really know it like that. You know what I mean? I just know about like Instagram and Snapchat, because those were the things I had the most success with. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know. I'm just telling you my experience. That's all I know, baby.
Yeah, man. But I feel like people could learn a lot from you in that way. Obviously, I'm not gonna try to sell you for that, but I feel like based on like the amount of followers you have alone and how much engagement you get, I think people value that and like maybe pay you for that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just putting that out there.
I think one of the things that makes you stand out, Phil, is that even though your social media blew up, like you still engage with people, and you're not corporate. If that's that's an interesting word to use, but you're not corporate. I remember doing a giveaway on my small account, and I was like, "Yo, Phil, can you post this on your story?" And stories for you is money. Like that's like if you post something that has a value from your perspective, and it was never like a yeah, I can't do that. It was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I think a lot of people can feel that it's just you being you, and you're being genuine, and like you're not corporate. You're like the people's champ, almost like the Muhammad Ali of Instagram.
Thank you, baby. That's what I try to. Nah, man, because it's nothing to me. Like I feel like relationships are way more important than anything. Like if somebody needed help with social media, like that ain't hurting me. I'm putting money in hopefully I'm putting money in your pocket. Like, why wouldn't I do it? Like, I don't get people who do it. Like, I wouldn't post anything that's like somebody I know who just like is really nasty on social media, and he asked me, "Hey, can you post this?" I was like, "Bro, I cannot support this, bro. Like, I like it, but I can't put this out there because it looks bad for me doing this." Like, I had to explain to him. He's like, I understand where it's coming from, and I love to do, but I couldn't do it. But when you are working hard and you're genuine, why not, man? Like, it's nothing to me. Like, everybody eats. That's how I look at it.
And that's kind of been the way that I've known you from the beginning. Like, I barely knew you, and I was like, "Yo, you want to be in a video?" And you could have been like, "I don't know you," like.
But there was nothing know like you, man. I know you from a long time ago, brother.
No, you did not, Phil. I
feel like it. Yeah.
But you have a very interesting career. But so the next natural question would be, what's your end goal? Like, what's your goal in terms of your career and what you're doing right now?
So the end goal, I think, with social media, and I feel like my window is it's like maybe 2 more years. I'm trying to get a show on trying to get a travel show on somebody's network. I signed with a production company, which is coming to an end. I signed with a production company during this pandemic, and we're searching for a show, but travel is the worst thing right now. Nobody's traveling, nothing's happening, and I don't know. I'm just trying to get this travel show, and from the travel show, then obviously other things could snowball. But right now, I just want this travel show, because I know once I get the travel show, there'll be more to come. It won't just be just that one travel show. It's going to be other stuff. I'm trying to be like Anthony Bourdain when it comes to the travel show.
I mean, traveling shows are really addictive.
Right.
Like I keep watching a traveling food show with my wife, and I just like,
which one?
It's called Somebody Feed Phil.
I love that show.
Yes, it's an awesome show. It's from the guy who did Everybody Loves Raymond.
And that's why he's where he is, because he's about who you know, man. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Nothing against him, because
for
he's
sure.
a great talent, but he created Raymond, so he know all the right people. I ain't create nothing. I don't know nobody. I'm out here struggling. Yeah,
So how do you network? Like we talk about social media and real relationships being more important. So how do you go about creating actual, real, meaningful relationships?
man, I don't really know. Like, I don't go to any of these. I've been to some of these like travel. What is it called? I can't remember the name of them. Where like all the travel boards are and stuff like that. Um, I don't know what it's called, but I go to those things and try to talk, and so they can see my face, so they can see like me personally, and won't forget. I wear the positivity shirt, and I'm in these tourism boards' face. Like, hi, I'm Phil, and I will be contacting you later. You just need to see me, and so it's stuff like that I do when it comes to travel. I try to go to these
Conventions.
what is that called? Yeah, conventions. Yeah. I try to go to these things, but they all shut down, and because of the whole Corona thing, I missed a whole year of them. Last year I went to like 2 of them, and that's what I try to do. I try to get. That's how I network, or like engaging in people's social media, writing them, asking questions, because everybody look and see like, who is this asking me this question? So when they come to my page, bam, it hits.
Right.
So networking is all about the work you put into it, man.
So
I didn't create nothing.
How have you, like, you've been forced to adjust during COVID? So
Yeah.
how does that been for you? And how did you adjust? And did you even adjust at all?
It sucks, man. COVID sucks. God, I was forced to adjust mentally. Like, I was dealing with some things mentally. COVID. I saw a therapist. I'm not seeing her anymore, but I had to adjust in that way. Like, it was really, COVID really was tearing me up, man. But I mean, everybody was affected, right?
Right.
And so it just was, I don't know. I still haven't adjusted. I know what I'm going to do differently now once it opened up, but mentally was my biggest adjustment. And like, I just got a job for the first time since March last month. So that's been my first. So I really ain't even adjusted really physically and financially. But yeah, I adjusted financially. I'm losing money because I've been spending it all the time. My pockets adjusted. So that's about it, man. I wish I had a great answer about adjusting. I'm still dealing with my issues.
That's real, because a lot of people who are doing whatever, like pursuing their dreams, they're like, it's nice to know that people who are successful are also struggling. Like, it's not easy to operate under COVID. Like for me, for example, I lost all my momentum. Like I've landed one client. I had 2 pretty big clients right before the COVID started, and then once COVID hit, I've had like 1 small client, and I haven't been able to get much during the pandemic. And I think it's just a reality for most people. Like,
right.
That's the reason why the governments around the world did stimulus checks. It's because it's like impossible to operate under COVID, or not impossible. It's really hard to operate under COVID. So I think a lot of people will find comfort in the fact that someone who was traveling and working with a major corporation and like building his brand and stuff, he's also struggling both mentally, but also like in terms of strategy. I think it's real, and I think a lot of people are gonna feel a sense of comfort knowing that they're not alone. So
maybe I should do some mental health Mondays or something.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, man, here on the Bluprint Pod, we inspire ideas and we push people towards becoming their own legend.
Oh, that's dope. You just said that now.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Like, yeah, I know, right? Did you just make that up now, or that's like a slogan? Yeah.
I mean, I think I kind of stole it a little bit from Muhammad Imam, because he said it in a video and something like that. And I just kind of stole that from him.
Hey, that was dope. I like what y'all do, Muhammad Imam.
Yeah, man. He's an inspiring guy, and he's got a voice like Scottie Pippen. I keep saying that to him, like a comfortable voice.
The basketball skills of a rock.
The basketball skills of a rock, but the voice of Scottie Pippen. You like that? It was the voice of a lockdown defender.
That's it. The voice of a lockdown defender.
We in lockdown, man.
Yeah, we in lockdown for real. So do you have any follow-up questions, Mohammed Imam?
Yeah, I was gonna ask like, I mean, you kind of like answered it, but how, like, especially now, like, how do you like plan to deal with these setbacks? Have you got another strategy in mind, or you just want to like just get out there, you're raring to go?
Yeah, so I'm about to spend a month with my grandma, like a whole month with my grandma, and so I'm making out a plan then, and I'm just finna just hit the ground running 221 because and I know this is so cliche, and we've all said this for years now, but you never know what's gonna happen, right? And time is of the essence, and I'm just finna hit the ground running. I'm finna send out goals, like send out at least 10 emails in the next 2 days and stuff like that. Find brands that work with me. I'm just gonna be on it, man, because I'm gonna have nothing to do, just chilling with my granny. And so there's no doubt in my mind that I'm not gonna do that because everybody traveling coming back once that vaccine come, baby.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we get our greatest ideas when we talk to the wisest peoples, right? So your grandmother. Whoa, put that on a t-shirt too. Damn,
Man,
I'm on
bro,
fire right now.
Me gems.
Damn, put that on a t-shirt, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. Another question, like for me, like professionally, I work in IT as like project manager kind of thing now, and I kind of stumbled upon it myself. I didn't have anyone like kind of to guide me into that, so I did like an apprenticeship when I was 20, and now I'm 25, and I didn't have anyone to like show me the way, and I feel like you kind of have like a similar thing where like you kind of trailblaze that role yourself, and like who was doing that before you, and like who influenced you in that way. I think that's like I think like you're like a leading figure in that kind of career that probably a lot of people want to kind of get involved with now.
Oh yeah, the whole travel thing. Well, it was this one girl. Her name is Glow Graphics. She's super dope. Like she was playing basketball overseas too, and she was like teaching English, and she was doing her travel thing, and we were kind of doing the same thing, but she was already blogging it and stuff. I was doing my thing, but I was sending it all to my family and my friends, and then she just was like, "Nah, you need to do this, 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 this." So she kind of like was inspiring me. Like I've seen her. She blew up now. She's super big when it comes to this travel game, and like she's changed her whole thing. I don't even know. It's still travel, but I think it's like more of like she's like a mentor now. Like she's like Oprah, and so she's played a huge part in my whole travel game thing. And in the last couple of years, there's been this other girl named Marty San Diego. She's super dope. That's her name on Instagram. She's just like a go-getter. So like those are the people. And because there is males in the game, but I ain't looking up to none of them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's mine for the taking. Like if I'm gonna go as far as I put in it. So I don't really have no other dudes to look up to when it comes to the travel game. Besides people that, and I can't say like, I would say like Anthony Bourdain, but I didn't know Anthony Bourdain until like 3 months before he died. You know what I mean? So I can't say like Anthony Bourdain, so I can't take that. But he is dope, and I do look at his stuff now and be like, oh, that's dope. Dude, everybody feel you feel. I look at his stuff now and be like, yeah. That one dude, it's another show on Netflix. I can't remember this dude's name, but he used to be in High School Musical. He has his own travel show. I'm definitely not looking up to him. Yeah, I'm definitely not looking up to him, but I'm looking at his stuff like, he's dope. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I kind of paved my own lane. And my stuff is different, bro. Like I work for the NBA. So my traveling is a little bit different than everybody else.
I think a lot of travel shows, at least the ones that I've seen, they've been pretty centered around food, whereas yours is more like the local experience.
The culture, man. The culture.
Yeah, like you really you talk to local people, you eat local food, you try local events, like you're really like showcasing the real side of the countries that you visit.
Yeah. Well, maybe I got to move into somebody's field. This field. See the other field. It'll happen. Be on the lookout. 2021. I'm coming.
Hey, I can't wait. So, do you have any last words, or are we gonna wrap this up?
Let me just ask, like, have you thought of, like, I don't know, I mean, I don't know how your job, like, because obviously you have a very unique kind of career, but have you ever thought of, like, hiring, like, an apprentice yourself, like, trying to teach them, like, the ropes and like, bringing them along with you on travels? I don't know, like, building, like, a little brand or something in that way. I don't know. It's just a
I ain't
random
never
question,
thought
but
of it. I ain't never thought about it till you just said it. What, you trying to be my apprentice, baby? You want to roll with me?
I'm good.
Let's go.
Dude, no, I ain't never thought of that. But I mean, I've never thought of that because I never thought I was in a position to give back for because I don't got my stuff. I feel like I still don't have my stuff together. You know what I mean? Like, so I've never even. That's never. I'm not on that level yet. But obviously, once I get there, I'll definitely do something like that. That's what my nonprofit is going to be about. Well, that's what it is about. Not going to be about. It's about getting kids passports and then taking them to go explore different cultures. So,
oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. Is that something you want to? You got a few minutes left. You want to end off with that talking about?
Yeah, ACE. It's called ACE. ACE. Attitude changes everything, and it's one of our first programs is the passport for the youth, and what we're doing is getting passports for kids and eventually taking them on a trip so they can see something different than what they're seeing in their everyday life. Because I believe when you see different, when you have different things, when you see different things, you think differently. Like, imagine how you would be if you traveled at a young age and you saw the world. Imagine what a lot of Americans' perceptions on Islam would be if they went to a Middle Eastern country at a young age. They wouldn't fall for that propaganda bull because they've met Muslims and they've met them and they've lived their culture and they're like, nah, this ain't something going on here. You know what I mean? Imagine how people would treat Mexicans if they went to Mexico and they wouldn't fucking stereotype them and stuff like that. So I believe that, and on the other side, imagine how people would treat inner city kids from Philwaukee if they went to another country and they saw us interact with their culture. So I think that's what it's all about. Like, so.
Do you have social? Do you have a? Sorry, you were saying?
No, I think that's what it's all about. Giving people different options.
Do you have a social media for ACE?
Yeah, I do. It's whack though. It ain't up and running. We just started. We just got government. We just were able to get tax reductions. Like, if you give money now, you get a tax reduction. We just got that in November. We were supposed to kick off into 2020, and you obviously know what happened. ACE Foundation. Right. We got a website.
ACE Foundation.
Hold on, let me
plug it. Let's hear it.
So our Instagram is ACE_Foundation_. And if you follow it, you'll probably be the only person that follow it because I ain't never even told everybody about it yet. I just posted and was waiting for stuff to pop off. But, the pandemic happened and I had to be in India. And when the pandemic happened.
Oh, I see you here.
Yeah, it should be in there.
Yeah, I found it. I'll follow you. ACE_Foundation_.
Yeah, and it's super new. The people who are going to donate money, I told them to hold on, don't do it yet until we get things moving because of the whole pandemic stuff. So that's what I'm on. That's what I'll be on. I think I'm gonna do a coat drive when I go home for the holidays for ACE because it's not only about passports. It's about just bettering the community where I live in or wherever I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing a coat drive when I get home. That's the goal, and we just gonna move like that because of COVID. Yeah, that's all I got going right now.
I mean, that sounds interesting. I think that sounds like something that hopefully will turn out successful because it's going to impact a lot of people in a positive way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it will. It will. And the message, I feel like the message is so important. Like, people got to understand that attitude changes everything. Like, it's such underrated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I feel like if you tell kids that at a young age, they'll take that with them for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that's a pretty good thing. I didn't even know you were doing this, but now I know. I guess. Are you?
Sorry.
What the hell is that?
That was a video on Ace. I just looked at it. I ain't looked at this page in a minute.
Do you get paid for the ABC Travel Green Book?
Well, I'm only on the cover, so I got paid for being on the cover. That's it. I don't get paid.
All right, well, let's plug it then. It's ABC Travel Book connecting the African, how do you say, diaspora?
Diaspora, yeah.
Diaspora, all right. ABC Travel Green Book connecting the African diaspora globally. It's on Amazon, and it's got Phil in a lederhosen on the front page by Martinique Lewis.
Yes, yeah. Martinique Lewis. She changing the travel game. But Martinique Lewis, she changing the travel game for everybody, for women, minorities, everybody. She ain't joking.
Maybe we should get her on the episode on the podcast one day.
Yeah, we should.
So make sure you guys follow Phil on Instagram. It's at Philwaukee. Are you using Twitter and other stuff?
Everything across the board is Philwaukee. Yep, I'm on everything.
Instagram, Twitter, and make sure you check out his food show. Oh no, I'm sorry, travel show on travel show on the Matador Network. You can find it on YouTube. It's a very, very interesting and entertaining traveling show on YouTube, and it's free to watch, right?
Free to watch, absolutely. And we just won an award. We beat out a show from the BBC and a show from some other whatever. We just beat them out on one of my episodes. So yeah, go check it out. It's the one in Zagreb.
In Zagreb, what is that? Is that a country or a city?
That's Croatia.
That's Croatia. Well, look at you, Phil. Champion on the court and champion off the court.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. Hopefully, we can get you on again in the future.
Yes.
But until then, I hope everything turns out the best for your career and that this ACE thing and Philwaukee thing and the NBA goals are going to come true.
Hey man, thank you. I appreciate y'all, man, for letting my voice be on y'all podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, first guest, a very powerful guest, and we absolutely appreciate it as well. It's a mutual respect, and yeah, man, keep up with the hard work, keep on inspiring people, man, and hopefully, many more people, many more generations will be inspired by you.
Thank you. And you only 25 and young, baby.
Let's do it. Just make sure you film it for the channel.
Yeah, it'll be like a video. It'll be like Phil forces an introvert to go and talk to people.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be really cool.
You an introvert? Oh yeah, I'll definitely be on you.
Yo, Phil, if you ever go to London after the pandemic, I'll join you and we'll make this video happen.
I'm with it. I'm like, just go over there and talk.
You see me running away.
I'm like, just say inshallah. Just say it.
I'm like, inshallah, I'm gonna jump into the Thames.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
All right, man. Let's wrap it up for now. You take care, Phil.
See you guys later. Have a good day.
All right, take it easy, man. Nice to meet you.
Peace. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Bluprint Pod. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you tell a friend and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.